Ryan, you've been acquainted with the Brazilian crowd, as I recall. I was there when you fought Yuri, and it was one of the loudest adverse reactions I heard live. And instead of one could understand if you got a little bit intimidated by it, but you seem to be enjoying it. You fed off of it, like you played with the crowd a little bit. Was that you putting on a brave face, or did you really actually enjoy that moment?
No, I really enjoyed the moment. I knew what to expect coming in. I've heard it before, watching the sport. So I knew they were going to get loud. I was fighting their hometown guys. So it was just fun for me. I just embraced it. I stayed focused, kept my eyes on the prize, and that was it.
And what do you expect to get with John Lineker?
Pretty much the same ordeal. I know they're going to be against me, obviously, but the same thing. I love silencing the crowd, so that's my thing, and I'm going to do that Saturday.
And Lineker is a fight that you'd been asking for. You asked for him a couple of times, and he, on the other, he was supposed to have fought Jimmy Rivera, who's really up there as a contender. Then he took the fight with you. Were you, I mean, you wanted it, but were you at all surprised that he actually took the fight?
No, I wasn't surprised. I think most of the Brazilian fighters are fighters. They'll fight anybody who's available, so I figured he was a good guy to call out. I knew he was supposed to fight Jimmy Rivera. That fight fell through, and he was open looking for a fight. Most of the guys in the top of the division are taken up right now, so he was a good guy to call out to, put myself up into the top 10.
I mean, when you talk John Lineker, I think people automatically think heavy hands, solid chin, and heavy hands mostly. So for you, how big of a factor, and was it a factor at all, that you were focused on or preparing specifically for during your preparation for this one?
Yeah, I'm prepared for everything. You can't plan for chaos necessarily, but you can plan for everything, and that's what I do in training. I've seen it all. We like to mimic him as much as we can, but also just focus on myself. Every fight is different. You never know if he's going to pull something different in the fight, so I'm just ready for everything and anything.
We talked a bit about his trains now, but what are in your opinion, his weakest spots?
I think his weaknesses are probably the wrestling defense. He seems to get taken down sometimes with guys, but he comes forward very aggressively, so he leaves himself open for that sometimes. So I see that in him, definitely.
This is a big fight. You're coming off a big win over an ex-champ, and you're fighting a guy who's been up there for title contention for a little while. So one would assume that a win means something here. For you, where do you see that putting you in the division?
For me, I'm here to make a statement, not just a win, but try to get a finish. If I can get a finish, that means a lot. I feel like, nobody's been really able to finish this guy as of late, even Dillashaw, the current champ. So if I can do that, it makes a big statement and puts me up there in title contention.
And when we talk title contention in your division, it's an interesting one, right? You have, obviously, now you have a title fight, but then we have Dominic Cruz, who's like that person, we don't know when he's going to be back, but he's always going to be right up there for title contention. You have Rafael Assunção. He has a fight now, but he's also been asking. You have Jimmy Rivera and Marlon Moraes. It's a very tricky situation, right? So what do you make of it? And say you win and you get your statement, how do you feel like that places you on that shuffle there?
Yeah, it's all timing sometimes. I mean, the division's stacked right now. We got a lot of good fights booked to see where things shake out after that. I would really like to fight the winner of Moraes-Rivera. Me and Rivera have history in the past. That would be good, but it's all up to the UFC. You never know what they're going to say. If I put a really good showing out there, get a finish, sometimes they'll skip you ahead of guys. If their fight's a little more lackluster, maybe they like me more the way I perform and they put me ahead of those guys. But, my goal is to just perform and have a flawless victory and let the UFC do their job and put me up next, whoever they got, I don't care.